Behind the beauty and excitement of horse racing, there is drudgery. For every hopeful boy who graduates to the rainbow silks of the jockey, there are scores who stay in the shabby sweater of the stable lad. Boys who sign on with racing stables are drawn by the romantic success of such as Lester Piggott, England's champion jockey, by the dream of sitting on the favourite in a great race.
They're under starters orders.
They're off in the 2,000 guineas, and the first to show is So Blessed. So Blessed from Ray Marley, Patingo towards the near side, then comes Lucky Finish and Connaught, and then on the far side of Connaught is Lorenzaccio, and So Blessed in the sheepskin noseband is making it from Ray Marley in second, Connaught is third, Patingo fourth, spot the blue colours with the white hoop, and then comes Lucky Finish. On the left of Lucky Finish there on the inside is Dalry, and then Jimmy Reppin and So Blessed taking him along. So Blessed in the sheepskin noseband from Dalry over on the far side, the light colours and the red cap, and then comes the black colours and the red cap of Connaught, and then Patingo towards the near side, and So Blessed really taking him along now. He's striding along like a real sprinter. So Blessed from Patingo, Cheb's lad showing there on the right, the yellow colours with the black hoops, then Connaught on the inside. Behind Connaught is Lucky Finish, and then comes Jimmy Reppin, and Sir Ivor really got it to do now. And as they hit the rising ground, so with an electrifying burst, Sir Ivor coming there, Sir Ivor on the far side. So Blessed, the sheepskin noseband, the white face of Patingo showing there, and now it's a duel as So Blessed weakens between Sir Ivor and Patingo, and as Sir Ivor hits the rising ground, he's lengthening his stride like a great horse. He's pounding up the hill now, and Sir Ivor going away from Patingo in second, Jimmy Reppin third, and that's the order of the race to the line. Sir Ivor the winner, Patingo is second, and Jimmy Reppin third.
In the first of the 5 English classics of 1968, Piggott has emphasized that he's not only a great rider of horses, but a great judge of them. Offer the choice of Patingo or Sir Ivor, he has chosen wisely and ridden brilliantly. It is the beginning of one of the most remarkable partnerships in the history of the turf.
Right head neck off. Piggott trained by Mr. M.B. O'Brien in Ireland. And go.
Trained M.B. O'Brien in Ireland. Just about the most impressive credentials a horse can have. As a trainer of racehorses, Vincent O'Brien has the kind of stature that invites cliché. To most of the racing press, he is the Tipperary wizard. To respectful owners like Lord Harrington, he is a mild, infinitely knowledgeable craftsman. They would rather ask him for advice than try to give him orders. No other trainer anywhere has achieved such comprehensive success. The Grand National, the most intimidating steeplechase in the world, almost became an O'Brien benefit when he won it 3 times in a row in the 50s, and every English classic on the flat has fallen to his string at least once. Yet he remains the least blasé of his kind. Each horse is treated as a second Sir Ivor until proved a second-rater. It is on these gallops with their testing, strengthening gradients that Sir Ivor himself must now be prepared for the challenges that will determine whether he is just a phenomenal miler or the rarest of all thoroughbreds. A true champion capable of decisive acceleration at the end of an exhausting mile and a half in the very best company. The best company is what he can expect from Newmarket. This is the absolute heart of English racing. An entire town dedicated to the reality and mythology of the sport. Here, it is said, The sausages sold in the shops are made from Derby winners. If it were true, the local butchers would be casting covetous eyes on this string, for these animals are in the charge of Noel Merlis, a northerner who has made himself the greatest English trainer of his time. Merlis's record in the classics is as formidable as O'Brien's, and now in the early summer of 1968, he faces the 1,000 guineas, reassured by the memory of winning the race the previous season, along with the 2,000 guineas and the Derby. The stable's hopes are with Kagurli, a filly bred, owned and trained by the Merlis family and ridden by the Scottish prodigy, Sandy Barclay.
And bouncing from the stalls, it's Sovereign who goes into an immediate lead. Sovereign, Ron Hutchinson and the Sheepskin Noseband, and being joined now by Lester Pegadon, Lalibela from the Sir Ivor stable, and it's Sovereign from Lalibela on the near side, nearest to us, that is, the yellow cap Lester. Then comes Sandy Barclay, in third on Kagurli, then Photo Flash and Lamom, and behind Lamom is Corsal, and it's still Lalibela on the near side from Sovereign on the far side. These two almost inseparable. Kagurli is third, and just in behind Kagurli is Photo Flash, and then comes Travelling Fair. Corsal's making a little bit of progress towards the outside, and then comes Aunt Audrey. And now as they begin to hit the rising ground, Lalibela weakens dramatically, and Kagurli comes to take her place, and it's Kagurli, young Sandy Barclay, centre there, the blue colours and the yellow cross belts. Over on the far side, still the Sheepskin Noseband, Ron Hutchinson on Sovereign, Photo Flash towards the near side, and now Kagurli going away from them. 20-year-old Sandy Barclay on this all Merlis filly beginning to hit the rising ground now, looking over his shoulders left and right for danger. Sandy, he doesn't see any as Kagurli keeps up a relentless gallop. She's racing up the hill towards the line now, with Photo Flash moving into second and Sovereign third, racing to the line now, and Sandy's got it sewn up on Kagurli, and Kagurli coming to the line, the winner of the 1,000 guineas from Photo Flash second and Sovereign third, and that's the result. Kagurli first, Photo Flash and Sovereign.
So Merlis, who had the first claim on Pickett until the champion broke with him abruptly, has found another outstanding jockey. And in Newmarket, which has a spinsterish enthusiasm for gossip, they say the enigmatic 3-year-old Connaught will be a worthy partner in the Derby. As always, Merlis turns his back on questions. Elsewhere in Newmarket, Churchill looks down as racing's more formal business is transacted in lounge suits. Lester Pickett is an unfamiliar face in the councils of the Jockey Club. The ruling body of the sport, with a class-conscious history that goes back 3 centuries, is thick with titles and tradition. But at last, hopeful attempts are being made to modernize its outlook. Here, policy and punishments are determined. The massive sums of money invested by men like Raymond Guest, the owner of Sir Ivor, add to the responsibilities of the Jockey Club. Racing is now an international bloodstock industry. At Ballygorran, on about 200 acres of rich Irish grassland, Guest, who, in 1968, was the United States ambassador to Ireland, has set up a magnificently appointed stud where a dozen valuable mares are prepared for luxurious motherhood. Guest does not mean to rely on the luck he had when he bought Sir Ivor for the bargain price of $42,000 at the Keeneland sales in America.
760,
At the Newmarket sales, Captain Marcus Limas is renewing the search for the classic winner he believed he had found, until Patingo was outclassed by Sir Ivor.
880, 900, and 20, 950, 950, 970, 1,000 now, and 50, 1,100, and 50, 1,200.
It was in this sale ring that Vaguely Noble, who will have a vital influence on Sir Ivor's year, was bought for France at a European record price of 136,000 guineas. At one 6-day session of the Newmarket sales, £3.5 million was spent on bloodstock, almost half of it going for export.
18, 1850, 1900, 19, make it 2, 2000 now, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005.
It is a place for the top people of racing to congregate and play the expensive game of trying to find the animals which, directly or through their descendants, will dominate the seasons to come.
Against you this side. Will you have another 100 at 2006? Done then last time then at 2,600. Mr. Barling, 2,600.
While Raymond Guest's investment at Ballygorran matures slowly, a more impetuous gamble is due for sudden settlement. Long before Sir Ivor had shown his worth, Guest backed him at 100 to 1 for the Epsom Derby, and he stands to win more than £60,000. Epsom, where all the theories, the experiments, the scientific equations, and idealistic dreams that go with the breeding of classic horses are put to the ultimate test. Derby Day is the most evocative and democratic occasion in the British racing calendar. A day when thousands who normally restrict their race going to the corner betting shop turn out on the downs. Many of them will be looking the other way when the field comes round Tattenham Corner, eating jellied eels or putting a child on a roundabout. But later they will tell vehemently how the race was won and lost. And they'll be entitled to their say, for they will have been an essential part of it all.
They run those American 9 and 10 furlong races. They've got to sprint the hell away.
No, they go like hell, let go.
It is a day when you don't have to be wearing top hat and morning suit in the members' enclosure to join in the high living. You can drink champagne just as well on the top of the bus. Even on Derby Day, some people have to stay in character. Yet the irksome trappings of a royal visit cannot prevent Queen Elizabeth from enjoying the day out. For her, going to the races is no public duty, but a private pleasure. In the jockey's dressing room, it is too late for any but the most minor adjustments. Everything possible has been done to get these men and the horses they will ride ready for this moment. Now they're on their own. And none carries a heavier responsibility than Pickett and his young successor as Merlis's jockey, Sandy Barkley.
J. Lindley, drawn 6. Number 12, P. Cook, drawn 1. 13, F. Durr, drawn 7. And number 14, written by R. Hutchinson, and drawn 14. Finally, blinkers are worn by numbers 8 and 12, 13.
The Queen and the Duke of Norfolk have come into the paddock as owners often enough. But on this occasion, they can afford to be relaxed spectators and leave the worrying to such as Vincent O'Brien. But looking at the deep bloom of Sir Ivor's coat, the firm rhythm of his walk, O'Brien does not have to worry too much. Merlis, too, can be encouraged by the appearance of Connaught. The Big Bay was inclined to fight the starting stalls and lose earlier in his career, but there is confidence that he will go in quietly today and come out running. Pickett isn't a jockey to whom trainers issue detailed instructions, certainly not before the Derby. At the age of 32, he's about to seek his 4th victory in the race. Raymond Guest, absent on ambassador's duties, knows that his 100-to-1 wager will not be in better hands. A man as experienced and intelligent as O'Brien is content to give Piggott a leg up and let him get on with it. Barclay is a dozen years younger, but he is no novice. Of course, it's not at all certain to be a two-man, two-horse confrontation. Ron Hutchison on Mount Athos intends to be there when the prizes are given out. Had Romand's preparation not been undermined by illness, Joe Mercer would have fancied himself to beat the lot of them. Supporters of Sir Ivor have been suggesting they will take a bomb to stop him from winning, and for a moment it seems that someone has taken them seriously. But the law steps in firmly, and the incident passes unnoticed by the tense figures behind the starting stalls. The Derby, with prize money now averaging around £70,000, is far from being the richest race for 3-year-olds. And many would say the course is far from being the fairest. It rises unevenly by 150 feet in the first 6 furlongs, then swings steeply down and round Tatnall Corner into the straight. The next climb comes suddenly 50 yards from the winning post, just at the point where it does most damage to a tiring horse.
They're on. First rate fired with the last even door, and just ahead of it is Royal Rocket. The first to show in the lead, Ben Roy in the lead at the end of the furlong from Connaught, Society, Laurie, Remand, then Floriana is last at the moment. As they come up towards the mile and a quarter gate, Ben Roy, the clear leader, falling deep clear of Connaught, similar distance ahead of Laurie, who's in third place with Forfeit, then Remand, the Populist is on Ivor, then it comes Ivor, on the inside of Ivor is Martin, and coming towards the 8.5 furlong gate, Ben Roy still the clear leader from Connaught, then comes Laurie, the Populist, Remand, on the outside of those Society, then it's Ivor, and just over 7 furlongs from home with Ben Roy in the lead, with only about 2 lengths ahead now, with Connaught in second place, and Laurie third, and Populist fourth, and Martin fifth.
Running down the hill, and Ben Roy weakening now, and Connaught going to the front, and it's Connaught from Laureate and Society, then comes Torpid, a Topless on the inside, Connaught the leader, as they swing into Tatnall Corner now, it's Connaught from Laureate, then comes Society, then comes the Topless, behind the Topless is Mount Athos, back in 7th or 8th is Sir Ivor, Remand making a little bit of progress in behind the leaders, but it's Connaught in the lead from Laureate and Society, then comes the Topless, then Remand, then on the rails is Sir Ivor, and coming to the 2 furlong marker, and it's Connaught and Sandy Barkley in the lead from Society, Remand in the pale colours coming to challenge, and Lester Piggott switching Sir Ivor out from the rails, but Connaught with a commanding lead. But coming to the furlong marker, Connaught still in the lead, being pressed by Remand, then Society, and Sir Ivor possibly taking off now. He's burning up the ground as he races up towards Connaught. It's Connaught from Sir Ivor, but Sir Ivor cutting him down, then coming to the line. Sir Ivor's caught him. Sir Ivor's the winner. Connaught is second, Mount Athos there.
400 yards from the finish, young Sandy Barkley had felt sure of winning his first Derby. Suddenly, Piggott finds he is commiserating not with a hardened rival, but a shattered boy. For once, the French neglected the Derby, but at Chantilly there's growing confidence that the fillies' equivalent, the Epsom Oaks, is at their mercy. In a season which has seen a substantial amount of their prize money exported to England, the French are in a mood to take reprisals, and the flawless early form of La Lagune has convinced her trainer, Francois Boutin, that she will win the Oaks. Boutin has the looks of a boulevardier, but he is a professional. They say she's unprepossessing from the front, but most of her rivals see her from behind. Gerard Tiboeuf is solidly built for a jockey, but La Lagune has the hindquarters to carry weight.
Down the hill, it's Denosa on the inside from Golden Moss. Then comes our Ruby. La Lagune is a long way behind at the moment. As they begin the turn into Tattenham Corner, it's Denosa on the inside from Golden Moss towards the outer, swinging into the turn now. And Denosa and Golden Moss disputing it. And look left and spot the broad white face there of La Lagune moving with long, flowing, effortless strides. She's coming to mow them down now towards the stand side. It's La Lagune coming to pick up this Oaks field with contemptuous ease. It's La Lagune still pulling Gerard Tiboeuf out of the saddle as she comes to pick up Glad One and Pandora Bay. La Lagune striding away from them now, and it's La Lagune, long way clear, turning a race into a procession, and it's La Lagune the winner. Glad One is second and Pandora Bay third.
Tiboeuf doesn't just smile, he laughs. It was that sort of performance.
I've never seen a race like this. I've never seen such jockey.
Thank you very much.
It has been a slaughter so spectacular that La Lagune's admirers have the right to wonder if she can rise above the normal limitations of fillies. Can she, in fact, trouble the colts in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, the most valuable race in Europe? But long before that question is answered, Sir Ivor is to have a well-paid lap of honour on his home ground. This time, however, there will be no partnership with Pickett, who will be on Ribeiro, a colt that has so far been no great credit to his sire, the peerless Italian champion, Rebo. Sir Ivor, who looks as lively as ever, is ridden by Liam Ward, first jockey to Vincent O'Brien on Irish courses.
I think we have my black there too, isn't it?
Coming up to the 2 furlong marker now in the Irish Sweeps Derby, and as they do so, Lester Pickett on Ribeiro and Liam Ward on Saraiva make a simultaneous break for it, and it's Ribeiro in the lead from Saraiva. Ribeiro from Saraiva. Liam Ward looks over his left shoulder to see if he's in any danger from behind. He doesn't see any, but can he catch Ribeiro? Ribeiro lengthening his stride now as he enters the final 150 yards. It's Ribeiro from Saraiva, and Ribeiro going away from Saraiva now as they race up towards the line. It's Ribeiro from Saraiva. Valdeos moved into third and coming up towards the line. Ribeiro's holding Saraiva at the line. Ribeiro's the winner. Saraiva's second and Valdeos is third.
Even the discrepancy in the betting odds, 3-1 on Sir Ivor and 106 against Ribeiro, doesn't convey the full stunning extent of the upset. Pickett on Ribeiro has again demonstrated his brilliance, and his year is assuming a pattern of incredible success. But Sir Ivor was clearly far short of his best, and no sensible critic blames Liam Ward for defeat. Raymond Guest, the most adventurous of owners, is undismayed. Within a week, Pickett and Sir Ivor are reunited and sent into the arena again. The Eclipse Stakes at Sandown offers Sandy Barkley a chance to avenge his Derby defeat. Barkley rides Royal Palace, the 1967 2,000 Guineas and Derby winner, who has developed into a magnificent, unbeaten 4-year-old. France has a big threat in the Eclipse Stakes because Taj Douane is a specialist at 1.25 miles and has run Royal Palace desperately close in the past.
How do the other thing?
Well, Farrell just stayed if he'd run Joe Lawrence. He flew swashing one if I saw full length on it. I tried to keep him Kevin Frederick, I won it with birthday present.
Coming to the final furlong marker now, and as they do so, it's Taj Douane for France with Yves Saint-Martin from Royal Palace, Springman, ridden by Sandy Barkley. Then comes Lester Pickett for Ireland on Saraiva. Coming to the final 150 yards now, and it's Taj Douane from Royal Palace, Taj Douane and Royal Palace. Then comes Saraiva, Taj Douane on the far side, Royal Palace on the near side as they come up towards the line. It's a very close thing between Royal Palace and Taj Douane at the line. It's just Royal Palace.
Third place in that Eclipse was no disgrace. But Sir Ivor carries back to Ireland serious doubts about his status as a truly great horse. O'Brien decides to rest Sir Ivor, giving up hope of making him the third horse this century to take the Triple Crown of Guineas, Derby and St. Leger. So Pickett rejoins Ribeiro for the next stage of an unforgettable season in the raw Yorkshire setting of Doncaster, home of the oldest and longest of the 5 classics. It is one of those English days when it is an advantage for racegoers to be good swimmers. But Pickett is unworried by the heavy going. The big question appears to be not whether Ribeiro will stay the 1 mile 6.5 furlongs, but whether he will stay better than Connaught or the Irish challenger Canterbury. The Derby third, Mount Athos, is an extra complication.
Right, you're in.
Hang on, man.
No. I got that.
From the moment they leave the stalls, it is clear that Pickett is in no hurry to assert Ribeiro's class. often happens, he is content to drop in at the rear of the field, where the clods are lying. He tends to ride a private race, using his own wonderful sense of pace to protect him against the rashness of other jockeys. He may wait in front or behind, but always he will wait until the feel of the horse tells him it is time to go.
Some tired horses now as they enter the closing stages of this mudslog, with Connaught palpably sinking into this Townmoor turf, and Mount Athos already pulled up, and as they come into the final furlong and a half now, it's alignment being pressed by Ribeiro, and Lester Pickett on Ribeiro as they just come up to the furlong marker, taking the lead, and it's Ribeiro in the lead now, being pressed by Canterbury towards the near side. Ribeiro on the far side of Canterbury, Canterbury nearest to us now, and it's Bill Williamson on Canterbury coming up to challenge Lester Pickett on Ribeiro. Lester nursing Ribeiro home now as he enters the final 150 yards. Canterbury on the near side, Ribeiro on the far side as they come up towards the line. It's just Ribeiro the winner from Canterbury second, and Cold Storage third.
Photograph.
Triumphant returns are a matter of necessity as well as habit to Lester Pickett. Since he began race riding at the age of 12, he has been sustained by winning, never mellowed by it. His riding may be less ruthlessly aggressive than in his early years, but is no less competitive or courageous. Even to many people inside racing, he remains a remote, aloof, almost mysterious figure. The one thing that is plain and unambiguous about him is his talent. It is, quite simply, one of the greatest ever to distinguish the sport. Pickett's talent, allied to Sir Ivor's, gives Vincent O'Brien hopes of winning the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe for the second time. Memories of the Epsom Derby nourish the ambition. Francois Boutin has had to nurse La Lagune through an illness since the Oaks, but it is that pulverizing victory he remembers. The Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe at Longchamp in the Bois de Boulogne is now established as one of the greatest of all races, and the entries for the 1968 event guarantee one of the most significant contests in its history. Above all, it will bring about a decisive confrontation between Sir Ivor and vaguely Noble, the colt England lost to France in the sail ring. The Arc de Triomphe is a rather special animal act, and the human stars are happy to take second billing. No sport draws the rich, the celebrated, and the glamorous as consistently as horse racing, and the crowds, like the fields, become more cosmopolitan every season. Number 10 is Vaguely Noble. This is the first time he has influenced the year of Sir Ivor, who wears number 12. Now Lagune is here too. But already the public, through the betting, have shown that they regard the race as being between the Australian Bill Williamson on Vaguely Noble and Lester Piggott on Sir Ivor. Longchamp is a fast right-hand course that represents an entirely true test of middle-distance horses. In a field of this caliber, even animals with an exceptional acceleration must be kept well in touch, and Williamson soon has Vaguely Noble on the heels of the leaders.
Tightly packed now, running to the home turn with Argent still there, so is Petro. Roselier towards the outside, and poised in the centre is Vaguely Noble. And as they level up into the straight now, exploding like a bolt in the gold colours there, is Vaguely Noble, exploding right out of the pack and going right away from him now, streaking away into the home stretch with Roselier following, and Sir Ivor putting in a sprint just in behind him, but nothing will peg back Vaguely Noble. He's striding on, he's keeping up a relentless, powerful gallop as he races up towards the line. Sir Ivor striving to get at him, but he can't cut down that lead at all. It's Vaguely Noble clear of Sir Ivor in second, Carmarthen finishing well in third, but at the line, Vaguely Noble from Sir Ivor and Carmarthen. And what a real championship performance this by Vaguely Noble, and no wonder that Etienne Pollet, who's trained him so brilliantly with this one race in mind, puts him in the Seabird class.
Etienne Pollet's strategy of aiming Vaguely Noble specifically at the Arc de Triomphe has been rewarded, and Sir Ivor, in the autumn of an exhausting season, simply could not hold him. But now Vaguely Noble walks through his exultant backers towards a stud career in which he'll be syndicated for a total of more than £2 million. He is walking out of Sir Ivor's life, and Sir Ivor cannot be sorry to see him go. The Irish, predictably, are not at all willing to let the racing world remember their champion as a splendidly honourable loser. Vincent O'Brien feels that Sir Ivor might have done even better in the Arc de Triomphe with a trouble-free preparation. And now, determined that the Derby winner will make a glorious exit, O'Brien heads him towards another great event, the Washington International at Laurel, Maryland. American-born and widely travelled as he is, Sir Ivor is liable to be more than a shade disconcerted by the sudden switch from the rustic peace of Tipperary to the razzmatazz of Laurel, where invited runners from all over Europe and the Americas compete in an atmosphere that is by Barnum out of Madison Avenue. But he will be reassured by a supply of Irish water. And, of course, there will be the calming presence of Lester Piggott, who gives the impression that he could play solitaire in a whirlwind. Laurel is a ferociously sharp left-hand course where the crowd see the field make a circuit and a half of the grass track to complete the 12 furlongs.
They're off at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, and Carmarthen is slow from the stalls, and the first to take it up is Taxi Barrow for Japan from Tsar Alexander and Fort Marcy. Then comes Patron, then Azincourt. Carmarthen making up his ground. In seventh is Sir Ivor, and eighth and trailing is La Lagune. They're racing round the first turn now, and as they do so, it's Taxi Barrow from Tsar Alexander. Then comes Fort Marcy. Behind Fort Marcy is Patron, and then comes Carmarthen, who's made up his ground, and into the straight for the first time. Taxi Barrow from Tsar Alexander, Patron on the far side, then Carmarthen and Fort Marcy. Then comes Sir Ivor on the inside of Azincourt, and then La Lagune, and Lester Piggott playing it very cool at the moment on Sir Ivor. He's well off the pace as the leaders go into the next turn. Taxi Barrow still leading from Tsar Alexander, Fort Marcy, Patron and Carmarthen, stride for stride. Then comes Sir Ivor. Sir Ivor still well off the pace. Is Lester Piggott worried at this stage? Well, if he isn't, he's the only Sir Ivor supporter who isn't, because they're racing now to the final turn, and as they do so, Taxi Barrow's losing ground, and Tsar Alexander and Fort Marcy really piling it on. Lester Piggott on the inside, on Sir Ivor, boxed in like a sardine as it looks all America around the home turn with Tsar Alexander and Fort Marcy, Carmarthen on the outside, and now Lester Piggott winkling Sir Ivor out for a challenge, and as he does so, Sir Ivor produces a devastating thrust. He's getting to him now, he's eating him up like a great champion, he's pulverizing him, and at the line, Sir Ivor's made it.
Piggott and Sir Ivor are the first challengers from England or Ireland to succeed at Laurel since Wilwyn won the inaugural running in 1952. And they have done so at a time when the International is established as a race of major importance. The reaction of the American press, unaccustomed to Piggott's devastating use of the late run from behind, is less than ecstatic. They should talk to those men who try to earn a living riding against him week after week. For most people, the unique excitement of horse racing can be measured in a chain of vivid memories. Those fleeting moments of blur and thunder that decide the great races. In 1968, most of those moments belonged to Sir Ivor and to the very special man who was on his back.